This has been a very exhausting couple of years for us. I don't know how many of you have followed us or know what's going on with our case, but basically April 27th of 2015, when we were moving from the state of Kansas to the state of Colorado, I worked for the Department of Veteran Affairs. I'm an honorably discharged disabled veteran. I was serving this nation's veterans, and I also had a marriage that was completely disintegrating. Anybody else here ever have relationship problems? No? Okay, I guess I'm the only one. No, you don't have to admit it. I don't blame you, no. But my marriage was disintegrating, and the people that were tasked with helping families in crisis, the people that were tasked with helping make sure we had the resources and just the kids were safe, actually came in and exploited the circumstance to traffic my children. We had 5 of our children kidnapped by family members. They took them to another county where the kids weren't even supposed to be. Without our knowledge, the police, the DA, CPS created a false narrative. Do you know they do that? They lie?
We know.
Yeah, I actually used to have trust in this system at one point in time. And ever since then, we only had one witness in our entire hearing. We had 5 witnesses show up. We had documentation. We had school records. We had doctor records. We had everything lined up. The only thing that the state presented against us was the lying police officer who said that she believed these were children in need of care, which isn't even her job, took them without statutory authority because the children were not in any danger. She even said in her police report the children weren't in danger. And we found out they had our kids because they were hiding our kids from us from a phone call 1 hour before court. They kept them in custody. They've been there ever since. Now, the system's really good at gaslighting. You all know that term, gaslighting? Where they'll come in with a bunch of professionals, they'll come in with a bunch of judges and attorneys, they'll look you in the face and say, you're a bad person, and you don't deserve your kid. And we're not even going to present any evidence about it. We're just going to tell you, and we're going to take them. And as I saw them do all these things, at first I thought, I got to prove this is wrong. And then as I'm trying to prove it's wrong, and they're ignoring the evidence, and they're denying exculpatory evidence on the record, and I couldn't understand what was going on. That's when we met Jennifer, and we began to be active out in public. Went on my first hunger strike in September of 2015, and it caused such a reaction in my case, I realized something else is going on here. Something else is going on here. They don't want this exposure, so I sat down with my wife and I said, honey, I think we just need to do something really crazy. We need to go outside of their box where they can't manage the narrative, but we're going to be run through the ringer. They're going to bring up every single garbage thing about our life, twist it, spin it. It's going to put our kids in jeopardy. But our kids are already going to be in jeopardy, and we're not going to get them back if we don't stand up and fight. And after some prayer, she said, we're going to fight. And we fought, and we're still fighting. And it's taken 2 years. And we've just now gotten a report that my children may, and I say may, be home by Christmas this year. But one thing that I realized as I traveled around the country advocating for other families and watching the same thing happen in those courtrooms that was happening in my courtroom, even though they were all regulated under different state statutes, we realized, wait, something else is going on here. See, I didn't even know about federal incentives. I knew CPS was bad. I don't think I've ever met a person that said, what do you think about CPS or DHS or DCF? And they go, oh, I just think they're a wonderful corporation, unless they're a social worker, you know, or somebody working for the system. I knew something was wrong, but I also saw this umbrella, and that's where we learned about the federal incentives. And when I first met Jen, I thought, man, this lady's extreme. Like, she says some inflammatory things. She'd straight walk up in a courtroom and look at a social worker and say, you're a criminal. This is unacceptable. I'd be like, man, I really don't know her. I really don't. I'm kind of backing off. But as I began to review the evidence, because I don't know if all you know about the CPS system, but they have secret reports that the parents never get to see, but they make rulings based on those secret reports. They have attorneys that refuse to defend your rights. They'll just say, just comply. It doesn't matter if you're innocent, just comply. And I realize what they're saying is, we have your children hostage, and until we milk every penny out of the federal government like any other good kidnapper, you're not getting them back. And if you hurt our money, if you make it so it's difficult for us to exploit your family, how many of you heard this? You're never going to see your kids again. You know what I told him? I said, you don't make that decision. God makes that decision.
Amen.
And as an American, and as a veteran, and as a father, you're not going to have my kids. And I'm going to fight. And I'm going to stand up. And I'm going to stand up for other families. And it's been hard. It's been hard. People don't see the backstory. They don't see the nights that I got to hold my wife because she's crying. Because this rips the heart out of mothers. You know, dads, and I'm not, that's weird in DC, I'm not trying to get weird with gender, but with dads, I think we just fight. You know, we get into fight mode and we go. And women, it's like you've just ripped out their heart and you're dangling it, walking around, telling them, do this, and they just want their babies. And it's such a malicious and pathological system of actually the system is good. It's the people that are in there now that understand. I understand there needs to be protection of children. Okay, we're a society that does not tolerate child abuse. But when the system becomes the exploiters, when the system becomes the abusers, we're in trouble. You know, we had to go to things like parenting classes. When I went to a women's shelter to take some classes with my wife, I have yet to even find anybody that works with battered women that says DCF does nothing but exploit women and hurt children. But the problem is...
Find any that work with a battered dads?
Battered dads, and that's another thing. There's a lot of bias towards dads. Now when we started winning our battle, they tried to spin the separate me and my wife from each other. If you just leave your husband, he's just a mean, scary man that gets loud on a bullhorn, then we'll get you your kids back. We've had other people that have been forced to divorce or separate by this system to get their children back. Nobody should have to do that. The government has reached so far into our families and lives that it is going to take some time. But I am very encouraged by the caliber of people. I don't even feel comfortable speaking up here because I don't think I'm in the caliber of some of these people. But they're coming. They're listening to us because we may only have a small crowd here right now. But I know when I shut down my live stream, there are over 5,000 people watching live. I don't know how many people are. So we're in a new generation and a new time where we utilize this technology. We network. I've worked with many of these people here and never met one of them personally yet until this trip. We have the ability to change this now. Yes. We have the ability to network in a way and hold these people accountable so that we can create real and lasting change. Because one thing we got to stop doing, and I'm gonna end with this, we really have to stop doing this. It really isn't the system, and it really isn't the politicians. It's us, guys. We as Americans, while we slept, they have done this to us. And it's our job as Americans to wake people back up and take our government back from these criminals. And I'm serious about it. And the one thing I learned from that fine young lady over there, her great-grandchild. Let me tell you, I'll close with this story because this is tragic. I want to see the kind of things these people do. Maybe you guys heard of baby Braylon. So last summer when we were here in DC, I was bullhorning this story and story over. Terrible tragedy. 14-year-old girl gets raped. That's awful. And this young girl is forced to make a decision that no 14-year-old should have to make because people were trying to talk her into aborting this baby. She said, I'm going to keep this baby. I'm going to keep this baby. I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to raise this baby. And that's an amazing and hard decision for a 14-year-old child to have to make. I tell you what, these people. So she goes through 9 months of pregnancy. And while she's nursing that baby, I got the videos. This child is so radiant and happy that moment's been redeemed for her. and they come into that room and they snatch that baby literally off her nursing breast and say, because you got raped, you are not fit to be a mother.
They just raped her all over again.
They did.
By doing that.
So I was talking to her great-grandmother, Dee over there. Please talk to her about baby Braylon. She's still fighting for that family. They're still victimizing that child. Terry LaPointe, medical kidnap, went down there. They started going after her legally. These people are so crazy. They sued Terry in the name of the baby that they kidnapped. Are you kidding me? 10 different people. This is the caliber of people that are trafficking these children because they don't think anybody is going to do anything about it.
We're all doing something about it here.
And we're all doing something about it. And the reason I wanted to share this is because last night I was talking to Dee, and she was telling a story about the last time she was in court, and they told her, stop supporting the Schwab family. I ain't never been to Alabama. How do them people know my name? Because they hate the light. They hate that we're out here, whether we're 1 or whether we're 10. We're like, they're over here doing crime, and we're shining a light, and they're scrambling to try to stop it. And if it takes 7 years, God help us if it does. But I guarantee I'll do everything in my power that by that 7-year period, we will have 1 million people in this park. We will take it. Maybe by next year. Because we're not going to quit. So I'm sorry it took so much time. God bless you. And keep fighting the fight, guys.
Raymond Schwab, everybody. And Amelia. Beautiful Amelia.